Us now is our political analyst, Brian Sobel. Is this bad for President Trump? And if so, how bad do you think it is?
Well, it's bad in that it shows that there were people in and around the administration who knew about the Russians. But what we're learning today, Frank, is that the Russian influence may have been much greater than we thought. It may have extended to all kinds of Democrats, all kinds of Republicans. The learning here may be that behind all of this was the Russian attempt to really bring down the American democracy as a whole, not to pick winners and losers in the election.
But Brian, the reaction today from President Trump, the Trump administration, and from Democrats is very different.
Yes.
You heard from East Bay Congressman Eric Sobel saying this is clear evidence of a link. You hear from Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying there's no evidence. Who's right?
Well, I don't know that we know yet who's right. First of all, if you look at the case of the 30-year-old senior policy advisor to Trump, one wonders how senior he really was. That's not to say he wasn't involved in meeting with Russians and that sort of thing. But there's a certain narrative on both sides. I'm not sure either side has the correct narrative because we don't have enough information yet. This isn't a good day for Donald Trump and the White House, however, because of the implications here.
When you look at the indictments, which one is worse to you? The indictment against Paul Manafort? In other words, which one has the most potential to damage the Trump administration? Paul Manafort's indictment or George Papadopoulos's?
Well, I think it's Papadopoulos's because Manafort's is really unrelated to the campaign and really speaks to his involvement with the Ukraine and money laundering and a lot of things that have been going on for a lot of years.
But Brian, if they were to get him to flip, he was a key member of the Trump campaign. If they were to get him to flip, he potentially could have information that could become very damaging.
No question about that. I think if you line up what happened today, one guilty plea and two indictments, I think the guilty plea about lying to federal investigators about dates and things like that as to when this person may have met with Russians and that sort of thing, for today, is a little bit more damning than the Manafort thing, except for Manafort was very high up in the food chain.
Frank mentioned about trying to get others to flip. The fact is that Papadopoulos himself has flipped. Do you think that he is going to be providing information on others? He was, part of the Trump campaign team, after all. Well,
he was. I mean, there's a dispute as to how much he was involved, but you have to believe he's been cooperating with the prosecution, special prosecutor, and maybe wearing a wire, maybe all of that. And if he was able to get other people to say things, this can continue to be a real problem.
More to come.
Absolutely, every day.
Brian, thank you.